To make concern, it's a cool podcast. Listen with your friends or listen with your dog, man. Subscribe today or I'll be in your closet. To make concern, that's a really cool podcast. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of To Make Concern. We are back once again with another episode for y'all. My name is Will, and the man in his original house for the first time since 2023, I don't remember, is Steven.
My natural habitat.
We talked about this last episode about the fans fiending for him to be in his original room, and we
made it happen.
On that promise.
We made it happen. I
Yes.
pulled some strings, got some authorization, and here I
He had to kill a
am.
few people, but he's here, and yes.
I think I've been back home a couple of times over the summer, but I think that this is the first time that we filmed a podcast episode here since like last year.
Yes.
So
yes.
this is the first time that
It's definitely been a while. It's definitely been a while. I don't even remember what podcast episode it was when you were back here, because I know we filmed one.
Yeah.
But I don't remember.
Yeah. This is it, y'all. You guys get one episode, maybe two if we're lucky. Will might decide to ask me for one next week, but
we'll see.
Yeah.
Actually, funny you say that, because next week, at the time of filming this, is actually my birthday. August 15th is coming up, and that's gonna be my 21st birthday.
He's gonna be old enough to drink. I think we already talked about this
under
too.
law. Yeah, we had a whole discussion about that.
Yeah, how he was not implying anything and how this was not self-incriminating evidence.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So welcome to the podcast. If you've never seen this podcast before, this is where I bring up topics that Steven will respond to. You may or may not know what I'm talking about, but hey, we're here. And for those who may have caught on, my mic quality sounds a little different, and that's because I actually have a microphone now. For the longest time,
he's not using
since
his MacBook
the other microphone we had, I've just been using my MacBook Pro mic.
Unfortunately, something of value was still lost, though, because the main disadvantage being that this microphone doesn't have the capability to make Will sound like he's speaking from, the devil's bedroom.
Just say it doesn't make me sound like the devil. Why do you have to say devil's bedroom? What does that even mean?
I don't know. It just makes you sound like you're evil something. I don't know. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go to a few episodes ago and find. I don't know if he does. Basically, it's a filter on his microphone that makes him sound really deep and puts a lot of reverb, and so, yeah.
I mean, I could try to mimic that. You are weak in my eye. You're mortal.
It's kind of like that without all of the clipping.
Yeah, this is not a very, very good microphone. This was only like $50 at Walmart, and so it's like it's better than what I had, which was nothing.
Hey, but it is HyperX, which I will point out is the official peripheral provider of the Auburn University. It has a HyperX logo on it.
You're right, it does. I didn't even notice that.
I noticed it.
I didn't even notice that. This is HyperX.
I noticed it on camera before Will noticed it himself.
How did I genuinely did not notice that. That I am now sponsored by HyperX.
Yeah.
No.
HyperX is the official peripheral provider of the Auburn University Student Center game room. So go check them out.
And also the official provider of me.
Yeah, apparently. Will got HyperX now. Except Will actually paid for his, so.
Sure, that fee came along with your tuition.
Yeah, I probably did.
Like, I am actually shocked that I didn't even notice that it was HyperX. I didn't even pay attention to the company I was from.
Well, he's having an existential crisis.
I literally am.
That's the title of this episode. Will has an existential crisis over his microphone.
HyperX now owns Will.
Yes, Will is owned. Will is sponsored by HyperX. No, Will is sponsored by Auburn University.
No. I'm Jack State forever.
So you're saying that you're not Alabama?
Okay, here's the deal about that. Like, as of recently, I've kind of like have lost a lot of interest in college football. Like, I've always kind of had kind of interest, kind of not interest in both college and professional. But as of recently, I've become a lot more invested into professional rather than college.
Yeah. Speaking of professional sports, though, I'm going to make this quick because I know that neither of us really care that much. But there's a YouTube short that are a bunch of different YouTube shorts that I've been seeing is basically people just reposting this. But apparently, I don't even know what game it was or which teams were playing, but it was something that happened in the MLB, which is baseball, for those who don't know. But there was like one team or like one pitcher who was basically he was throwing a no-hitter, which is essentially like the other team hadn't gotten any hits off of him. It was like the bottom of the ninth inning, so the game was about to be over. There was 2 outs. It's like literally he needed to get one more out, and the game would have been over, and he would have had a no-hitter. And one of the guys from the other team hit like a absolute mile of a home run. And like the announcers went crazy about it, and so like everybody's been making YouTube shorts about it. I know it's really not that interesting, but I just wanted to point that out.
Everybody in Steven's algorithm has been making shorts about it, I'm sure, because I have yet to see a single story about this, nor have I heard anything about this. But that's crazy.
Unfortunately, I watched like 2 baseball videos.
This close to greatness.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, if you're watching this, maybe you know what I'm talking about, maybe you don't. Like I said, I don't know what game it was or what teams were playing because I don't follow the MLB. I just like baseball.
I just like the art of baseball.
I do.
Yes. I mean, I get it. Like, I don't follow MLB that much.
I don't follow it at all.
And the thing is, I'm not that big on baseball to begin with. Like, I don't hate the sport, but it's also not one of my favorites.
It's one of my favorite. It's probably up there with like football and there was one other sport.
He doesn't watch sports.
I don't. I don't watch them on a regular basis. During college football season, I'll usually watch college football just because you can't live in the South and not watch college football. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a law, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of people outside of the South don't know this, but in the South, there is a law that you must watch at least one sport. And,
yeah.
And if not, then you get publicly executed. Yeah, they actually bring out the firing squad every Tuesday to execute all the sport virgins, as we call them.
Sport virgins, yeah. And that's why you never see any sport versions in the South, because all the ones that existed just got
them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're recording this on Wednesday. I was at a sport version purging yesterday. It was a lot of fun watching.
Yeah. I think I heard about that one. Wasn't that one where like the guy like didn't die on the first shot and they had to make like a big deal of shooting him again or something like that? I don't know. It was crazy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. This bit is going on too long.
I was trying to make it sound natural. They're like, yeah. Dude, someone from another country is hearing about this, and like the only thing they know about America is that we have guns, and they're like, no way, they actually do that? I'm never moving to America.
I feel like there's some people who would hear that and wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they'd just be like, that checks out.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I got my. Hopefully this helps the quality a little bit, because I know with the MacBook Pro there was a lot of like background noise, and this helps negate it a little bit. Like I said, it's $50, so it's not like top of the line quality. especially since, you know,
it still does sound a little bit
CyberX,
compressed. Will dissing on HyperX.
But I mean, $50 is not bad, not a bad price for something that's perfectly, you know, serviceable. There was an option for a $130 one. It's one of the one that has like a light up, like colorful mic.
an extra $80 for RGB.
Yeah, for RGB, yes. I mean, if I wanted to, I could put RGB on this. All you gotta do is bust out the markers. But yeah. So that's that.
Yeah. Before we get started with the episode, I want to bring up a small little mini topic just to kind of act as the appetizer before we really get into the meat today.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a lot more interesting than sports, I promise. It's basically just something else that I've been noticing with YouTube recently that doesn't really warrant a full topic, but I wanted to bring it up just to get your thoughts on it to see if you might have noticed it. So it's something that's changed with the way that YouTube is doing their pre-roll ads, which are the ads that play before your video starts. So normally, when you have pre-roll ads, it'll either be like the ones that you can't skip. There'll be either one or two of them usually, and then there'll be like the little tag at the bottom right that says video plays in, and it'll count down how many seconds. And then there's the one where you'll get like a longer ad, and then it'll show the tag, and like it'll be like 5 seconds, and it'll let you skip it, and then you can skip.
I think I know where you're going with this.
You'll skip, and you used to be you would hit skip, and then that would just like play your video. I've noticed something recently that has changed, where YouTube is doing a thing where they'll actually have two skippable ads. So
yes.
You'll have the first ad come up, and you'll have the tag, and it'll be 5 seconds, and they'll let you skip. But instead of skipping to the video, it actually plays another ad that also has a skip button.
So you're not skipping to the video; you're just skipping that particular ad you're watching.
Right.
But you still gotta watch this other ad.
That's just like I never noticed that happen until recently, and I think it may have been something that YouTube has implemented recently.
I've noticed it for a good few months now, and it's kind of inconsistent. Sometimes when you hit the skip button, it does skip forward the rest of the ads, but sometimes it will do that where it goes to the next ad. But yeah, I've definitely noticed that too, and that's just no.
It's kind of annoying, to be honest, because I'm so used to like hitting the skip button, and then it's just like, okay, I hit skip, now my video's gonna play. And
you hit it twice. It's
and you gotta wait 5 seconds in between.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that. Thank you for listening to my mini topic. Now on to the actual episode.
Yeah. So I initially was going to talk about one other topic. I got two topics coming up before the main event of this podcast, which we'll get into. There was something I was going to talk about, but something happened this morning while I was at, I guess you call it work.
We have more work stories. Will may not be at Wendy's anymore, but he's not going to stop telling stories from work.
And this is both kind of embarrassing, but also really, really funny. I'll talk about it. All right, so so just a brief rundown of what I do. I work for the football team at Jack State, and that what I do is I am a filmer. So I take a camera and a tripod, and I set it up, and I film practice. That's the gist of it. Now, over the fall camp, we don't actually go to the main field. I think it's actually being renovated right now. Like they're redoing like the the ground. I think filling it with either turf or dirt. I'm not entirely sure which, but that field's out of commission right now, and so we're at another grass field that like practice takes place on, and for these practices we go on a lift, which is basically those things you go on and you press a lever and you like extend upwards, and you stay up there and you film. You're either on the side or at the end of the ends area of the field.
The end zone.
And end zone, basically.
Wow, Will stopped caring about football so much he doesn't even remember what the end zone is called.
I was trying to describe it without having to like say end zone, but yeah, it is the end zone. So, what's funny about this particular field we were at this morning, is all right. So this particular morning, I was at the side. I was going to do the sideline shot of practice, and that lift that's right there. It's actually right next to another structure. It's right next to a wooden structure that used to be kind of like it's basically a tall structure. It has a ladder that you could climb upward to like be on top of that. I think it used to be for like band directors to go up and like do the little thing, but it's a very old structure, and it's very like, I think due to like the wood corroding over time, it's like very something that you wouldn't want to climb on to like film. Hence why we do the scissor lift. So this particular morning, and keep in mind too, this particular lift, 2 people are on it, myself included, and this other person who I'm not sure if he'll be okay with me naming him directly, so we're gonna give him a fake name. I'm gonna name him Marker. I'm just gonna call him Marker.
Not an actual name. He's just gonna name him after an object.
Yes. And that's foreshadowing for what we're doing later.
This was something that Will already explained to me yesterday.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
So Marker, we both got on the lift and we were preparing to turn it on and like basically get the engines going, but I was trying to get the engines going and the engines were not turning on. The thing just wasn't going to turn on, and and so that left with 2 other options. Wait until someone could drive another lift over to the field from another field that we have, which would take a while. Or, and this is what Marker proposed. By the way, this is going to be the representation of him. Just like he's just this big green thing.
Yeah.
So Marker suggested, hey, how about I go up this wooden structure right here, and we can just film from there. And
the wooden structure, that we will remind you, is not necessarily safe to be climbing.
Yeah, because it's very like wobbly. If you like, we found this out because he took his camera, took his tripod case, and he just started going up there. And like the ladder is like very wobbly, like everything's just like. And keep in mind, the reason why we ended up doing this, this man ended up doing this, was because we believed that the lift was not going to turn on. The conclusion we reached to was that it had been turned on all day, and like all the juice of it ran out, and it just wasn't going to turn on. However, once Marker got on top of that wooden structure, by the way, he started like talking about how terrifying it was. Because keep in mind, this ladder, there's nothing behind it to like, or anything to like catch you if you fall. Like it's like roughly 20 feet, maybe 30 feet up in the air. So it's like if you fall off of that, you're not gonna have a good time.
Yeah, you're gonna have a pretty bad day if that happens.
Pretty bad day. It could be your last day if you're unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah, it could.
So. I wish I had a photo of the thing I'm talking about to give better context.
I'm just imagining like a ladder that is straight up and like has nothing around it that also goes like 20 feet off the ground.
Just imagine it goes up and it goes to like a post that like you can stand on. Like it has wooden structure around the post, like behind it, like beneath it to like support it, but like I said, the wood had been old, and it's like, yeah, it's like no one used it. However, here's what was the funny thing. Once he got up there, like I think the head coach, he saw what was happening, and he was like, "Hey, get down from there! That's not safe.
That's not safe."
And like he was just stuck up there, and while he was up there, while all that was happening, We found out, someone else came over, and they found out that the reason why the lift wasn't turning on was because the key was not switched to on. It was switched to off. So he literally switched it on, cranked it up, and it worked. We literally had to turn the knob to turn it on. And me and Marker, who have both been doing this for years, we didn't come to that conclusion.
This is why you always double check that your things are doing, that you always double check your things before you decide, let's go climb up the wooden structure that's who knows how many years old, that is like yes. almost falling apart on its own, and we're gonna go put, I think you can agree, a sizable amount of weight on it. Like if Will was gonna be the one up there, I think we can agree it would have been a sizable amount of weight.
If I went up there, I would have died. I just straight up would have died. It would have crumbled. I would have been in that mess. Yeah.
And it would have been a mess that day.
Yes. But Marker, he weighs significantly less than me, so it was fine for him. But like, it was still like I couldn't imagine him being comfortable with staying up there for the entire practice, because entire practice is like 2 hours or something, and it's just.
I want to imagine like how shaky the film would have been just from like the wobbling of the structure.
Maybe, but yeah. Once we figured out the lift was working, he came all the way back down, and he described it as being very terrifying, having to go all the way back down. Because, like I said, nothing's supporting him outside of just his steps and his grips.
So if the ladder looks like is looking like I'm imagining it, just like straight, and it's not like a slanted ladder, it's just like straight up. I think that climbing down something like that is almost scarier than going up.
Yes, that's what he said. He said going up wasn't that bad, but coming down was like terrifying, because if you slip and go all the way down, that is like
it's bad. Over. It's Jover at that point.
Yes, you're at the mercy of the soft grass that's beneath you. Like, that can only cushion you so much.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But afterwards, as we started filming practice, he eventually, his heart was racing, like, from that experience. But eventually, he calmed down, and at this point, we've just had a good laugh about it. It was just something. And he talked about how he's always been interested in climbing up that thing, and I was like, well, you've done it. Good job.
Now you know what it's like.
You can mark that off of the list. You probably have like a bucket list of stuff you've wanted to accomplish.
Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why he's called Marker, so he can mark it off the list.
Sure.
I know it was a bad joke. I saw an opportunity and I tried to take it.
Yeah. But yeah. Marker, if you're watching this, first of all, what's up? Second of all, sorry for me indirectly almost causing your death, because I concluded that this thing wasn't going to turn on, which prompted him to go up the thing.
It's like, well...
Yeah. And
so what did we learn?
I don't know. Just make sure your lifts work. Make sure. Yeah.
Then don't climb structures that are very clearly not safe to climb.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like after I record this tomorrow, I'm going to go over. I'm going to try to get a picture of it to like put in post production to give you a better idea of what it looks like.
Yeah. So when this episode comes out in a couple days, we'll edit a picture of what he's talking about over us talking about it. So you, the viewers, can get the benefit of being able to visualize, whereas me, I have to use my imagination.
Yeah. And if you're driving on the road, you're already going to have to use your imagination.
Yeah. Or if you're listening to this on Spotify or any of the other platforms that I have not updated the playlist on for a very long time.
Yes.
I've been meaning to go do that. I need to spend like a couple hours just like getting all of the episodes transferred over to It's not actually that hard to do because, like I said, I use Anchor, which is Spotify's podcast hosting platform, and it automatically pushes the episodes out to all of the different platforms. So all I
Yeah.
have to do is upload it once. It's not that hard. I just haven't.
You just gotta do it.
Yeah.
You just gotta do it. Yeah. All right.
So if you're listening to this episode on Spotify, that means that I finally went and did it.
Yes. All right. So on to the second topic, and after this, we'll get to the big thing. You mentioned something about YouTube, so I'm going to mention something about YouTube. So in your YouTube Shorts algorithm, how many, on average, how many of them would you say are like art based, or like someone doing some sort of art project of some sort, where, or it doesn't even have to be art; it just has to be something like a short of them working on something, and then they show the final result at the end.
I think some of those show up, but I usually skip them because I don't really find them interesting.
Oh.
So I don't really get a lot of those in my algorithm.
But just yeah, I personally do it because I like that kind of thing. I like to see other people work on like artistic projects of like whether it's be drawing or whatever. There's something where like they always have these like close shots of them drawing. They're not doing too far out because they want to save the final result for like when it's like actually done. So there's like several shots of them like drawing here, drawing over here, drawing over there. And then they'll show the final product of what they worked on. And my big gripe with some of these, actually a lot of these, is that they will show the final product at the end of the short, and they'll show it for an entirety of like a second. Like they'll show it.
Like, here you go. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. Like, here you go. All right, that's it.
I bet you don't even know what I held up.
And you have to rewind. You have to go back. Like by the time you notice it, it goes back to the beginning. So you have to go back to the end. You have to pause it at just the right moment because like when they're like zooming out, it'll be like out of focus for a while, and then one particular frame it'll be in focus. You gotta like meticulously.
Gotta get that.
I hate
gotta get that frame perfect pause.
I hate how the pausing works. On YouTube Shorts, where it's like you have to touch the middle of the screen to pause it. Like
I also notice on YouTube, like when you're trying to pause a YouTube short, it has a little bit of delay when you touch it compared to a normal video. You'll touch it and it'll take like half a second to actually pause, and so you have to touch. And by the time you hit the
pause button, it'll go right back to the beginning. So it's like you have to be very meticulous in trying to like. And I get why they do this too. My way of thinking is that they intentionally do this because when people skip forward to like they rewatch it several times just to try to get that moment where they pause it, and that racks up more views.
Oh yeah,
like more engagement. So that's like
it's an exploit.
That's the main
infinite views exploit.
Essentially, yeah. That's what reminds me of another thing. Like on Instagram, in particular, this happened. They a lot of meme pages. They would post a meme, like one of the memes, but they would post it as like a 1 second video that would just like loop. And the main reason why they were doing that is because while people are looking at the meme, the video is just constantly looping, and it's equaling views, and it equaled like there's a certain amount of views you can get before you start getting revenue from it.
Another thing I just thought of is like on normal videos, something that you can do. On desktop you can go frame by frame, but if you're on mobile, which is where most people watch YouTube Shorts, you can, if you're on a normal video and you want to like go forward very meticulously, like with more accuracy that you can get by just sliding the play bar, you can like very quickly tap the play button twice to like play it and then immediately pause it and it'll go forward like just a couple frames. You can't do that on shorts because double tapping a short is how you like it.
Yeah,
that's it. And so if you try to like do that, like play and then very quickly pause, you can accidentally like the short and you can be like, wait, I didn't want to like that.
I didn't want to like this. No. Yeah, it's just like, and it's also the ones where it's like, I don't know if you've come across this, but like there's some shorts that like it'll start with like having a red dot on the screen, and it's like place your finger here, and it's like a way to like interact with the short. But like on mobile, especially, like if you press it, it'll like bring up the comment section. It'll swipe up or down, and it's like you have to be very meticulous in how you press it to like so that no like human contact is actually going on it. Because if so, it's just going to do a million different things. But yeah. I really hope they update it soon to like rectify these issues, because like YouTube Short are like a relatively new thing in comparison to how long YouTube has been around. Like obviously YouTube still has problems, but they've had several years to like rectify a lot of like past issues and like refine it a little bit. YouTube Shorts has only been around for a couple years, so it still has a ways to go before it's like actually, you know.
Before it's ready for prime time. Before people will start actually respecting it as a short form content platform and stop calling it discount TikTok.
Yeah.
The sad part is like a lot of shorts from TikTok actually get reposted to YouTube Shorts. So like I think a certain percentage of content on YouTube Shorts is probably originally from TikTok anyway.
Yeah, yes. I think, and I'm guilty of this too, but I think what a lot of people go to YouTube Shorts for is just to avoid the image of being a TikTok addict. It's like, no, I'm not a TikTok addict. I don't even use TikTok. I use YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, I will say that I watch YouTube Shorts, well, because I find them entertaining, but also because I refuse to use TikTok. Not because I don't want to be seen as an addict, I just don't really like the platform that much. And
TikTok has a certain stigma against them.
Yeah,
that a lot of people just don't want to even like.
And I'm not one of those conspiracy people who says like, oh, TikTok is spying on you and sending all your information to the Chinese government or whatever like that. Because like it's not, and people have already proven that it's not. I just don't really like it that much.
Yeah. What is funny in my opinion is just like there's a lot of TikTok stores, but how many YouTube Shorts stores are there? There's YouTube stores, but what about YouTube Shorts stores?
Yeah, the one thing that YouTube Shorts has going for it is I've heard from people that in terms of like people who monetize their content, YouTube Shorts pays a lot more than TikTok does for short form.
Really?
That's what I've heard at least.
Okay. I can see that because YouTube is owned by Google, as far as I'm aware, but TikTok is not. So like, and Google has like their own separate like ad thing where you can run ads, whether on Google, on YouTube, on whatever, and it's just like they have more of the foundation.
Yeah.
Like a
it's Google Ad Services. Google Ad Services serves ads to a lot of different places outside of just YouTube.
Yeah. All right. So, Steven.
Yes.
This episode of the podcast, we're doing a little different. Usually, we just talk and talk and talk. We just yap. However, I've decided that I wanted to have you participate in a little game. And the main inspiration of this, essentially where I took this idea from, is Distractable. The podcast that I've talked about before.
Yes.
That I watched is the one with Markiplier.
The one that Will steals ideas from, but anyway.
Yes. I don't do it often. I will say, I don't do it often. This is like the first example where I've like officially copying
Your Honor, my client doesn't kill people often. It was just this one time.
Yes. That's a solid. Okay. So, and even without the influence of Distractable, I'm sure this is a game that, like, in other ways and other interpretations, is a game that's been played before. So
yeah, I've definitely heard of the concept before. Like I mentioned before, Will actually called me yesterday, like asking if I want to do a podcast today, and he mentioned on the call that we were gonna do this on this episode. So I kind of had a little bit of a heads up on it.
Yes. So the name of the game is 20 questions. And how this is going to work is Steven is going to ask me 20 questions. That's the limit of questions. And I have a particular object in mind that he's going to have to try to guess from me. He has to guess what object I'm thinking of. And he can ask me questions pertaining to this object to like narrow it down. It's basically Guess Who, but with objects.
Guess Who, but with objects.
Yes. It's the same concept. It's just like narrowing down what this object could be. And you have 20 questions to do this. And so that's the base of the game. Now, Steven.
Yes.
Are you or are you not willing to gamble money?
I am not willing to gamble money, mainly because I can't gamble something that I don't have. If I wasn't broke, then maybe I would, but I don't have any money right now to gamble with. Unfortunately, I can't.
I had an idea.
I cannot make this exciting. I am sorry.
That's like the reason why I say it is because I had an idea. It's like if you, let's say you're able to guess the object with 12 questions, then the remaining 8 would equal $8 that I would give you. But if you go over 20 and it takes you 23 questions, then you would have to pay me $3. That was the main idea. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine.
Like I said, I would if I wasn't broke.
That's fine. So we'll just play this for fun.
Just for fun. Maybe in a future episode, I will actually have the money, and we can really up the stakes.
Yes.
You guys can watch this like you watch professional poker.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. So you're gonna ask me questions, and I'm gonna take note of how many questions you've asked. Like,
actually, hold on. I have to take note of which questions I ask so that I can actually remember them.
Yeah.
So I can remember
what you've asked
the
and what my
information about this object. Yes.
Yes. So
okay.
let me know when you're ready.
You said it has to be yes or no questions, right?
Yes or no questions.
Okay.
And after each question you give, you have the option to guess what the object is or continue with another question. And there's no penalty for getting the object wrong. Like, if you're asking if it's wrong, like, then you can continue on with the next question. So are you ready?
Hold on one second.
Okay. And while he is getting ready, okay, never mind. I was gonna do another overused sponsor joke, but
overused sponsor. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. This episode is sponsored by Marker. Marker from earlier. He actually agreed to
this episode is sponsored by Adidas. Mainly because I just looked at Will's shirt and it took me this long to notice that his shirt says "Nobody cares" on it.
It says "Nobody cares, work harder," and this is actually something I wanted to do. Like, if you get stumped and you don't know what object I'm talking about, I'm just gonna say nobody cares. Work harder.
Work harder. Ask more questions.
Yes, I do want to like scrape off this middle part and just have it say "Nobody cares."
That'd be funny.
Yeah. It's just been the entire episode, and he's only now acknowledging this. I was planning.
I just now noticed
on making a joke about it at the beginning, but I forgot.
Anyway, moving on.
All right. So, are you ready?
I am ready. I'm ready to figure out your object.
All right. Hit me with the first question.
Okay, the first question is, can it be turned off? As in, can you like turn it off?
No.
Okay, cool. Can it be found in a store?
Yes.
Ooh. Does it go into the mouth? In other words, can you eat it?
You can, but I would recommend not to.
Okay. Does it taste good, though? Does it taste good?
No.
Okay, it doesn't taste good. All right, so it's not a
Right, you have
it's
four
not a
questions
food.
now.
It's not a food then.
Yes.
Okay. Can it be opened or closed?
Technically, it's kind of a unique object in which yes and no. You'll understand once you figure this out. But structurally, no. I'll say that much.
So okay,
But
so it's
you can
not
use it
it's not a container then.
basically.
Okay. It's not a container.
Some of these questions. That's the thing about this game. Some of these questions you kind of have to respond like that. Like
technically.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
is it
that's 5 questions, by the way. Just want to let you know.
Is it a toy?
No. You could technically use it as one, but I don't know why you would.
Okay. Can you wear it?
No, you typically wouldn't.
Typically wouldn't.
Okay, actually, there was a trend where people were wearing these things as earrings, but
as earrings.
But outside of that, no.
Okay. Oh wait. Okay. I probably
that's a huge hint, by the way. That's a huge.
That does give me a somewhat of an idea.
What is the object?
No, I got more questions. I'm gonna use.
You can guess.
I'm gonna use my 20 questions.
Okay, fine.
I should have asked how big it is. Is it? Wait, no. It has to be a yes or no question.
It's not. Yeah, yes or no question.
Okay, is it bigger than? Okay, is it bigger than a foot? Like a foot long? Is it longer than a foot?
No.
Okay, it's a small object then. Is it made of metal?
Yes.
Aha.
What is it?
Is it dangerous?
It could be potentially.
Hmm.
You look like you're onto something here.
I'm circling back to the earring thing.
Here's the thing. If you guess it after only asking a certain amount of questions, that's considered like a win.
Right. Okay.
So go ahead and give me a guess. You might be onto it.
You said it is made of metal.
Yes. Typically, it's made of metal. It varies somewhat, but generally, it's made of metal.
Okay. Is it sharp enough to cut something?
No, not really. Did you have any guesses as to what this object is? If you go ahead and give me a guess.
But I have to make sure that I'm gonna be able to guess this properly.
Like I said, if you guess it correctly, that's not a penalty against you.
Oh, okay.
The point of this game is to guess what it is with as few questions as possible. 20 is just the maximum.
Okay. How many have I asked? How many have I asked now?
You've asked 11.
Okay, perfect. I probably could have asked less. My first guess is gonna be a magnet.
You are not correct.
Okay, I probably should have seen that one coming.
All right. You said that was your first guess, right? Your first idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Mostly because you said wearing them as earrings.
That is interesting, but no.
I mean, you can wear magnets as there are magnetic earrings, actually.
There are, but that's not what I'm talking about. The object I'm talking about.
Is it smaller than a tennis ball?
Yes.
Is it an office equipment?
Yes.
And
you're getting there. You're getting there.
Is it used to attach papers to each other?
It is indeed.
Is it a stapler?
No, but very, very close.
Okay, then...
You're very close.
Oh, you said smaller than a tennis ball. Okay, then it must be a staple.
Again, no, but you're very close. A staple by itself doesn't hold it together. You have to have one of these things. like a thing. But
a stapler.
Think of something else.
Okay, wait.
If you want to ask me more questions, you can. But you're on the right track. You're very much on the right track.
Is it wait? Okay, so is it reusable or is it like a one-time use thing, or is it reusable?
Technically, it is reusable, but from what I've seen from other people, they kind of dispose of them after one time.
Okay, but you can reuse it.
You can.
Is it deformable? Like, can you change the shape of it?
Yes. I feel like you got enough information of what this is.
I have no. I'm still.
You're so close.
Does one side of it have a curved form?
Yes. Technically, all of it has a curved form.
So it's a circle.
No. Is that your 18th question? Is there a circle? Or is that like a follow-up question to number 17? Because you're at 17 now.
It was a follow-up because you said technically all of it is curved, so that just made me think of a circle.
No, it's not a circle. But I'll count that as just the 17th question. Okay. You're at your 18th.
You said it was similar to a staple, right?
In what it does, yes.
A paper clip.
Congratulations, you got it. Yes, it is a paper clip. It is curved.
That's such a weird definition of curved. Like when I was thinking,
it's curved. Look at it.
I mean, yeah, but like when I was visualizing something that was curved, I wasn't really thinking of a paper clip.
It has curves on it. Like, think of curve as not as a shape, but as part of a shape.
Yeah, well, yeah, a curve basically just means like, you know, like it's something that's not straight. It's an arc.
Yeah.
So gay people are curves. Moving on. So. Wow, why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know why that comment was necessary, but regardless, you got that. All right.
It only took me 18 questions.
Actually, I admit I took away that 18 because of a technicality of how it was technically part of the 17th question. But yeah, 17.
Okay.
Is how many questions you had to ask.
I feel like I probably should have gotten it pretty soon after I said staple, but I kind of got on a tangent thinking that it wasn't that. So
that's the thing about this game. It'll have you overthinking. Yeah, but congratulations, you did it in less than 20 questions. Would you like to play a second round?
Sure. Let's see what you got.
All right. So we are going to do the second round of this.
Round 2, fight.
Round 2, fight. All right. So
okay. So I have a new set of questions this time.
And keep in mind, with this particular object, you have to describe what type it is. So multiple types of this particular thing. You have to get this particular type of this object.
Okay, there's multiple types.
That I will let you know that right now.
Okay. Excellent. We'll start off with, is it an electronic?
Yes.
Okay, good. We're off to a good start. That narrows it down a bit.
Good start. Narrows it down.
Do you have games on your phone? Does it have games?
Is that your second question?
The question is, does it have /play/ have an is it a game? Does it have games on it?
No.
Okay.
What's your third question?
Probably something related to size, but I need to choose my reference. I need to choose what I'm going to reference it to. What am I going to reference it to?
Nobody cares. Work harder.
I need a reference point for size.
Think harder.
Okay, so think about your MacBook, right? Is it Is it bigger than your MacBook?
No.
Okay, excellent. Is it connected to a wire?
Yes, an electronic.
Well, yeah, but you mean some of them have batteries, so.
That's true, I guess.
Does it play sounds?
What do you mean by that?
Like, can it play a sound or like make a noise of some sort?
It can make a noise.
Okay. Is it related to music?
No.
So it's not an instrument.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Is mayonnaise an instrument? Oh wait, hold on. Can it be found in a kitchen?
No.
You said it was. Okay.
Okay. We're at question number 8 that you're about to give me. I will give you a hint.
Okay.
Just to make sure you're on the right track. When I say it's an electrical object, think less electrical in the sense of like being electronic, and more in the sense that it just takes electricity to power.
It takes electricity to power.
So it's not called like an electronic. It's more of a electric thing.
And you said there's multiple.
That's to try to get you
said
on the right.
There's multiple types, and I have to guess the right type.
Yes, like this thing I'm talking about serves one purpose that can be served out in a bunch of different ways. But this particular one that is in my brain. That's in my noggin.
So you're saying that the purpose that it exists for is a purpose that. So like for example, what's a good example? There's a lot of different ways that you could put the color blue on a piece of paper. You could use like a crayon or a colored pencil or a marker, but you would want me to guess specifically like a crayon, for example.
I guess it could compare it to that, but it's more in the sense of like...
I'm trying to understand like what multiple types means.
So in this instance, multiple types would be like, what kind of mask are you wearing? Are you wearing a mask that's like just a regular COVID mask, or are you wearing like a purge mask? That's the best visualization I could give for you. For like different types, they both serve the same purpose of covering your face, but they're different in that way.
Does it have liquid in it?
No. That is your 8th question.
Okay. Is it? Wait, no. How do I want to word this? Do a lot of people or most people have it? Like,
yes.
Like would
generally,
most people have one? Okay.
Generally, yes.
Does it touch the floor?
If you want it to touch the floor, but generally, no.
Do you use your hands to like use it for whatever its purpose is?
You could use your hand to help support what you're doing. Yes.
To help support what you're doing. Okay.
Like to hold it in place, basically.
Okay.
That's a good hint for you.
I'm kind of getting a rough idea, but I'm still not entirely sure.
Hit me with your 12th question, or if you have a guess of what the object is, no matter how random it may be. Like I said, the goal is to guess the object in as few questions as possible.
Yes. Well, since there's no penalty for wrong guesses, I'll go ahead and put my first, probably wrong guess of a light bulb.
No.
Okay. In that case, is it on the wall, or is it found on the wall?
No.
Is it hot?
No. I could imagine if you overuse it, it could get hot.
Well, yeah, because you said it's hot.
But generally, no.
It takes electricity, so...
Yes. If you overuse it, it could get hot, but generally, no.
Can you find it in the bathroom?
No. I don't know why you would put this in the bathroom.
Okay. So, alright. Okay. Is it related to driving in any way?
No. Since we're at the 15th question, or at the 16th at this point, I will give you another hint. It is related in some way to paper clips, what we talked about in the first round.
Okay.
It is related to this.
But it takes electricity, you said.
Yes.
I have a feeling that this is an object that I may or may not have heard of before. I'm trying to think of something that both is related to paper clips and takes electricity.
That is not a light bulb.
That is not a light bulb. What is something that's related to paper clips and takes electricity that is not a light bulb?
On this exciting episode to make sense, Will make Steven use his brain for once. This is exciting developments we are seeing, ladies and gentlemen. And when he gets stumped, I just say, nobody cares. Work harder.
Nobody cares. Work harder.
Work harder. I wore this shirt. I wanted to wear this specifically for this because I thought it was funny. This is one of the official shirts I got from Jack State.
Okay, so you said a specific type of object. Okay, I'm gonna go for my second guess.
Okay.
Is it an electric stapler in particular?
No.
Okay.
I don't see those very often.
Neither do I, but
like I said, most people generally have them.
I had to go and Google if an electric stapler was actually a thing.
It is. It's one of those things where you put the paper in it and it automatically staples it.
Okay. Okay, most people have it. Does it rotate?
Inside of it, there's rotating that happens. That's a big hint for you right there.
Inside of it, there is rotating that happens.
Yes.
Is it... inside of it?
Like, the inside of it, there's rotating that's happening. That is the main function of this thing that people expect from this particular object.
Is it related to... No, never mind. Is it related to school?
Yes, it is very much related to school. As question 17.
I got it. I got it. It is an electric pencil sharpener.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. You got it. Yeah. It is indeed a pencil sharpener, an electric one.
What do you mean most people don't have that? I mean, I know some people do, but I wouldn't call that something that most people have.
I would say most people, like, who are doing schoolwork will have, like, be in a household that has one of these.
Me personally, I don't. I use a manual one. Or actually, now, since I'm in college, I actually use mechanical pencils, but back when I used to use regular pencils, I always used a manual pencil sharpener.
I guess that's kind of up to debate. Like, how many people actually do have one of these? Because I feel like...
Yeah, go ahead and leave a comment down below.
Maybe not if most people, but I would say the majority of people have had at least one.
I would say I agree with you that it's not really, like, uncommon. It's definitely something that's common to find.
Yeah. I think the particular question you asked me is it something that...
I said isn't
in
something.
A household.
Yeah, I think so. We're kind of nearing the end of the episode, mainly because I'm gonna have to leave soon. But I want to break your immersion, Will, and I want to hit you with the big reveal. I did use a little bit of an assist on my end to figure this out.
What do you mean you use an assist?
I was asking the questions. Well, basically, what I did. You know what Akinator is?
What?
Do you know what Akinator is? Like the game?
No. What is Akinator?
Okay, so Akinator is basically a game where the titular Akinator, which is like he's like a virtual character who's like a genie or something like that. He tries to basically guess what you're thinking of based on asking you yes or no questions.
Yes, I know what you're talking about now. Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
So
Sorry, it took me a while to understand, because I don't really recognize him by name. I just recognize him by his appearance. But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I had the idea yesterday when I was thinking about this that if you were going to ask me yes or no questions, I could just pull up Akinator and ask the questions that it was asking and then give it your answer and figure it out that way.
That's a smart idea to like go into this game. Like,
and that is why some of my questions were very oddly specific.
Yes. That's how it was in the Distractable episode when the guys were playing it. They were asking like specific questions to try to like narrow it down.
Yeah, and I will say I didn't rely entirely on that because I didn't expect it to be able to get the answer in only 20 questions. So I was trying to use a little bit of my own like judgment as to what I thought you were talking about.
You're trying to be at least a little original.
Yes, but I did get some help. Like for example, the pencil sharpener
it was
one.
More of an assistance.
The pencil sharpener one, I kind of like was like leaning in kind of the right direction, I think, but not really understanding what you were talking about until I put in one of your answers, and the next question that Akinator asked was, "Is it used to sharpen things?" And I immediately got it. I immediately knew what it was.
That's funny. So
yeah, there you go, chat. I'm a fraud. I cheated.
You're a cheater. Okay.
I just thought it would be funny.
I thought what you meant by that was like you were just getting the questions from Akinator, not that you were literally using Akinator and having him, like playing with him rather than with me. Well, I guess not really, because...
Well, I was using your answers to answer Akinator's questions.
So you are a cheater, okay?
Yeah. So like Akinator would basically Akinator would ask a question, and then I would ask you that question, and then you would say either yes or no, and then I would tell Akinator either yes or no.
And I have no idea that, like, does it do it with objects?
Yeah, they have like different categories.
I thought it was only like characters.
From, they have different categories. Hold on. So
I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that.
So the different categories. Wait, hold on. I know it's characters, objects, and then I think it's like. There was another one. If this ad will stop playing.
No matter where you go, capitalism will reign.
It's characters, objects, movies and TV shows, and animals. That's the 4 categories that they have.
Okay.
So the last 2 are kind of specific, but...
For shame. Alright, well, ending on that note, that's the end of the episode. This was a fun experience. Yes. Even with
the blatant cheating,
disgusting cheating. I hope I was able to get his brain moving at least a little bit.
Like I said, I still had to think because I still had to like, keep up with what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
And
I hope everyone at home had to play along too, and hopefully none of them pull that back in the air. Yeah. But yeah. And you'll also, here's the fun thing, Steven. You'll be able to rewatch this episode and like have the hindsight of what the object is, and like noticing like your mental progression of like you going through all the different options and everything.
Or I guess Akinator's mental progression, but anyway.
Yeah. Oh well. All right. And
maybe next time. Oh yeah.
Said,
okay. Well, my dad's gonna be in frame for the outro, so.
All right. As always, please like and subscribe for another episode of True and May Concern. See ya.